Sony RX100 Mark V is very similar to Mark IV, which I reviewed more than 2 years ago, so this time I won't go into details but will focus on the differences and talk about my general impressions of this camera. First, let's take a look what is improved and what I like about RX100. Mark V brings pretty specific upgrades over Mark IV. First, it has face detect autofocus points. They do work a bit faster and are more appropriate for subject tracking than contrast detect system. Now it is possible to select minimum shutter speed for auto ISO feature, a pretty important detail if you ask me. It has a rather large range from 30 seconds all the way to maximum 1/32,000th of a second. You can also leave it in automatic mode where you can select 5 levels marked as slower, slow, standard, fast and faster. Continuous shooting is upgraded from 16 FPS to impressive 24 FPS, and there is a larger buffer which can hold up to around 150 shots, what translates to around 6 seconds of recording. Most impressive of everything, it can shoot at this speed in RAW mode, when this camera produces around 3 GB of data in 6 seconds. For this to work, RX100 must have some pretty damn impressive sensor readout and processor. In video department, Mark V now has S-Log, what is a very fat video profile intended for grading. High frame rate options remain unchanged, but now it records up to 8 seconds of real time, what is significantly more usable than previous 4-second limit. And that's it. These are all the upgrades and they are relevant only for situations where you will need extreme speed. Otherwise you will gain nothing with RX100 Mark V over Mark IV. Here are a few aspects I really like about RX100 Mark V. Image quality is pretty much perfect for something this small. Yes, you can get better IQ for the money, but not in a camera as small as RX100 is. If you're not gonna pixel peep, this might be the camera you will love for a long time. 20 megapixels is plenty and high ISO is surprisingly usable up to ISO 6400 and sometimes even 12800. If you know how to use RAW format, results will be even more impressive. Video is also excellent. 4K at 30 FPS, Full HD at 60, slow motion at 250, 500 and 1000 FPS at various resolutions, full manual controls, zebra, peaking, S-Log if you want to grade footage, everything is here and best of all, videos look great. They are really impressive on my 4K TV set. Autofocus in video mode is rather snappy even in lower light, and we can take that to face detect autofocus system. You will not get this fast autofocus on Mark IV. What I like best is 180 degrees articulated LCD, obligatory feature for video logs. If the camera had microphone input, it would be perfect. The way things are now, you are stuck with built-in stereo microphone, which is not bad, but is far from ideal solutions like shotgun or lavalier microphone. Mechanical shutter is very quiet, listen to this. So in real life I rarely used electronic shutter, but if you need one it is here and then the camera becomes fully silent. 3x optical zoom lens is quite good optically and has solid f1.8 to 2.8 aperture, especially useful in low light. It is not perfect, I could notice a bit strong chromatic aberrations, but for its size it is pretty impressive in other aspects. It even has ND filter built in, what comes in handy for video recording in bright light, so you can keep shutter speeds at lower values. It is impressive Sony managed to fit pop-up electronic viewfinder in a camera this small. It has high resolution and good refresh rate, but is a bit small. Small pop-up flash is built in and can be tilted up for bounce function. Menu is far from good. There are so many options inside this camera and they are spread across the menu without any apparent logic. Yes, you can customize external buttons and there is quick menu with 12 assignable slots, but that doesn't change the fact you will have to click and scroll a lot to get anything adjusted. Of course, nothing is preventing you from using it in full automatic mode, but what's the point of having all these features and not using them? On top of that, all buttons and dials are extremely small and have very short travel when pressed. Front plate is from some sort of thin metal or something like it and is very slippery. In winter with the gloves, this camera is borderline unusable. Opinions vary, but overall I find RX100 to have quite bad handling. Battery life is below average. In normal use, by what I mean walking down the street and taking single images or a few short videos, I wasn't able to get more than 200 shots. This is even worse during the winter when it's cold. I know small camera dictates small battery, but at one point it severely limits performance. Even worse, first 4 generations of RX100 use the same battery and can deliver up to 300 shots. Mark V really uses a lot of power because of fast sensor readout and strong processor. There is no touch function on LCD. For a camera this small, it would be great to control it that way. Also, this LCD easily gets dirty and is easy to scratch, especially in the corners. My personal opinion is that Mark V makes sense only if you really need extra speed over Mark IV. If you can benefit from 24 FPS burst, bigger buffer, S-Log flat profile and longer slow motion recording duration, go for it. Otherwise, get the Mark IV for less money and enjoy identical image and video quality with even longer battery life. Overall, RX100 Mark V is truly impressive in feature set and image and video quality, but still it has significant shortcomings. For me, battery life and bad ergonomics are a deal breaker. As I said in my RX100 Mark IV review, Sony created a gadget rather than a camera. That's all for this review. Subscribe if you liked it and thanks for watching.